Hello and welcome to my first Model Trains episode. Now, in this episode, I'm actually going to be giving you a full sight of all of my engines and my rolling stock. I have 8 engines and numerous amounts of rolling stock. Also, here's my sister's cat, Emmy, as she will be featured later in the video as well. She jumped onto my lap while I was recording this, so now she's just a part of the intro as well. This is my new layout that I've set out upon the floor for my model railroad. Because of having a brand new desk, as you saw, I had it rotated there in the latest Lego episode. Also, that is where I record, just so you know. And that's the Legos. But this, down on the mats below, is my model railroad. And yes, this is now a separate series, as Minecraft will be once I produce a video for that. But we're here to test all of our rolling stock and our few engines, of which I have 8, by the way. I have not counted my rolling stock. If we do this, I've decided to choose my best runner normally, and I'm normally also sitting in the center here, so I can just tap the engines, but oh well. I might have to clean that spot up later. Well, let's go actually get that engine. So this engine, obviously being a runner, we'll put right there. The next engine we're going to try is a New Haven passenger engine, which actually, it goes with these passenger cars. Sadly, lighting isn't very good to where you can see it, but if I take it, I should hopefully be able to. It says New Haven. So now, let's test the New Haven engine. And I do have a duplicate of it for a double header, but this one, it doesn't have bands at all. Unlike this one, which these are the bands that usually hold the trucks in, which is the same story for my switcher engine here, so I won't be able to run that at all either. But, oh well. Let's get this engine on the tracks so that you guys can hopefully see it run. Sometimes, sadly, the bands do slip off the rod, and the rod will slip off of other things, so I have to adjust those, but it should be fine. Using my magic rail joiner, and you can see my pants, sadly, but set this engine to go. Oh, the bands must have flipped off. I'm going to go adjust that, and hopefully then you guys can see it. Okay, hopefully that should have fixed it. Oh, wrong way, but you can see it is moving. No, the bands have slipped off. Well, you saw it move, so I hope that's good. Sadly, I can't do many more tests without about 5,000 cuts, and as we saw in my newest Lego video, that's kind of annoying. So now, let's put probably my favorite engine on, which is the General in a green livery. It's produced by Tyco. I'm pretty sure the green Burlington Northern Switcher was produced by Model Power, and I'm not sure who produced the New Haven engine. But this is an American 440, as railroaders know it. And if I get it on the tracks, you'll see it has an unusual type of drive right here. And that is because the motor is actually in the tender. So now it moves, it's just loud and annoying. And it needs help. It's almost as shaky as my camera. How terrible. Yeah, I kind of have to guide this one along in order for it to actually run well. There we go. I've just stopped it for now because it might strain my motor too much. Now, as I said, this engine here and that engine there both have no drive bands and would be like this engine. So I can't really test those. This one, I know some of the wires are disconnected. That was my fault. This one has a sort of cracked gear, and then this one just doesn't start. So that's pretty much all for our engines. And oh, roly-poly. Excuse me for a second. I have to crush that. Sorry. I had to crush the roly-poly. Anyways, now let's maybe get on to rolling stock. I'm now sitting in the center of my train tracks, and by the way, I'm recording in my basement, so be ready to just hear the laundry machine, which is usually going. But now my major dilemma is, should I do my freight rolling stock first, or my passenger rolling stock first? I'm kind of tempted to do passenger, just because, as you can see, there is a lot less. 7 plus 4, 11. So I have 11, plus these two, which actually go with my general locomotive, that one. And so I can't test those though, because the trucks, these, are off of these. But let's at least test these. Starting with my old ones, the New Haven cars. Oh yes, the end car won't be able to do things, but we have the mail and luggage car, mail and baggage car. I'm reading. Hard to see words, but oh well. If we get it on, the rollability is okay. At least it looks nice. Yeah, it doesn't roll very well. We'll set you over there. Next is this one, which I was actually taking off and switching the couplers today so that at least a couple of the train cars would be usable and pullable by an engine completely. So this is the main passenger car. Ooh, it derailed. There we go. A little bit better than the mail car. Same general design as the mail car though, because it's supposed to be a passenger fleet, of course. So we have the dome car, which doesn't actually have any side doors. So I guess you'd have to think about that when you're boarding the train. Which I do have a train station. I might show that in the next episode. Oh, a little bit better than the other two. Of course, same design. This, if I flip it around, also has a coupler right here. And that is so it can at least link up to the main passenger car. And I can have two train cars. Now, I won't be able to test this car because, well, the bogey's off. So I can't really do anything about that. And now I'm going to set them all back over here. Which, bear with me, it's a lot easier when you do that. But you also lose the shell. There we go. Next, we have my 7 train cars. Oh, and my cat Rosie. Kitty. Hi, Rosie. So, these all actually operate the exact same. And so, I'm just going to show you them all linked together, which I'll go put them on the tracks and then show you them. Okay, now they're all on the tracks, which, let me try to get the entire 6-car consist. And yes, that is 6, not 7, because this is a duplicate of that, just without a coupler, and dirty. So these are our 6 train cars. If I move over to the controller, you'll see some of them light up. Or one of them so far. 2 at least light up. If I finick around, I might get lucky. Ta-da! I've gotten at least 3 to light up. 1, 2, 3. The other 3 are supposed to light up, but something is probably wrong with the bulb or the wiring. And so yeah, that is all of my train. That is all of my passenger rolling stock that actually has wheels. This also is my diesel switcher, trying its best to pull 5 train cars. Yes, I did say 5. The dome car is annoyingly horrible and likes to derail. Oh, that must be a spot or 2 that I have to clean. You can see the lights, which do work. I've got all 6 of my usable boxcars set up here on the track. This boxcar not being usable because that. And then this boxcar for the same reason, except it's both of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure I accidentally glued these 2 on here without realizing they were the ones for that. So this yellow boxcar here might just have to be like a stationary piece. But now let's test if my switcher... Oh. You poor, poor soul. Apparently, the coupler here is too high for here. So I'm going to go switch the order of my boxcars around so that the couplers will line up. Now let's try it. Ah, there we go. Sadly, this green engine doesn't have very good traction. But at least the boxcars are working. See? Once that gets back around here, we're going to pull it off, and then I'll cut to when I have all of these train cars on. Oh, it seems to have stopped just because of power. This is my enormous consist of movable non-box cars. This one only not being able to be used because of that. And then that just leaves cabooses over there. And I've decided not to use an engine on this because the engine would fail. So I'm just going to pull it. It all moves pretty nicely. These three right here, those three actually have boxes, which are these. And those are looking pretty nice. And yes, it does seem like they're moving on their own, but they're not. I promise you. See? But now let's move on to the end of the train. The caboose. I'm going to get those all on the track now. These are all of my cabooses. Cabooses. I'll just use that for time being. But this caboose is not actually attached because it has no couplers. So it's just going to get pushed along. Meanwhile, we have the other four in behind. Go! I said go. I said go. Work, you silly thing. Well, let's just pull the engine. So, you can see the cabooses all look good. This one is a work caboose, normal, the first one I ever played with, and odd-shaped one. So that is actually all of my rolling stock. With an Emmy, my sister's cat, here to greet us. Say hello to the camera, Emmy. Please. There we go. So now that we've seen all of my different engines and rolling stock, tell me down below which of them all was your favorite. And also, I think my favorite, as I said, was my general locomotive. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye!